Are you ready to fight for Scotland? Are you really? Because right now, we're powerless. Utterly powerless in the grand scheme of things. This week, Ireland closed its airspace to America and any other nation that are supplying Israel with weapons or support in any manner or form. They're not allowed to use Ireland's land or air to perpetuate support to a death cult. Wouldn't it be great to be able to say the same thing about Scotland, to hear Humza Yousaf say, we are closing Scottish airspace, Scottish military bases and airports, and any infrastructure that will help supply the Zionist regime with support in their ongoing genocide in Gaza. But we can't. We can't do that because we cannot make those decisions as a nation for some peculiar reason. Although the Scottish Parliament voted for a ceasefire in Gaza, supported by Labour, supported by the SNP and all the independence parties, I'm pretty sure that the Tories abstained because, well, they quite like that death cult status thing. But still, we're powerless. Powerless to have any effect at all. I kind of feel sorry for Labour voters in Scotland because Scottish Labour, and we know Scottish Labour is only Scottish in name but not Scottish in nature, simply because, well, it doesn't actually exist as a separate political entity on paper. It's just a name that is the continuation of the UK Labour Party. Go and look it up on the internet, it's all there. Anyway, I do feel sorry for them because, well, they also voted unanimously at their party conference last weekend for a ceasefire in Gaza. But the true form and party leadership, in the form of Sir Keir Starmer, decided, nah, we're not going to do that. We'll talk about it. We'll say, yeah, we need a humanitarian ceasefire, a pause in the killing, death, destruction and mayhem that's going on. But not really a proper ceasefire, Regardless of all this, this is a perfect example of Scotland wanting to stand up for itself on the world stage, but not having the capabilities to do so, simply because we are part of this union. Do you think anything will change? Think anything will change at all when the inevitable general election comes and we have a change of government? We have Labour in power who think that they're going to get into power because of their policies, but they're not. They're only going to get into power because the Tories are shit. So I started off by saying, are you ready to fight for Scotland? And are you? Are you ready to do this? I think that there's going to be an earlier general election compared to an October one. The only way that there'll be one later in the year, or even hanging on till January next year, is because the Conservative Party are utter cowards and trying to find any way, scrambling to make themselves look decent. But how can you raise like 14, 15 years of utter mayhem and disgust and contempt towards your own people? How can you do that? You just can't. There's no magic wand that the Tories can wave to make sure that they look decent again. So I think that there'll probably be a May election. I think that that's probably going to happen, and we need to be ready to fight. We need to be ready to fight not so much the Tories, but most definitely Labour, and to counter any nonsense that the mainstream media is going to say about the Scottish political parties. So let's do it. Let's work together to send that message that we can't really have Labour in Scotland because they don't match our values, do they? Unless, of course, you're into that whole death cult thing. Then go ahead, vote for them. It's your soul.